Hello and welcome back to the Kingdom Hearts HD Dream Drop Distance playthrough. It is time for us to return to the delight that is Travis Town. But before we actually go and do that, there's something that I didn't do, which I really should have done when I was in Prankster's Paradise with Sora. And obviously, you know, I kind of just went straight on into that delight that was Riku's version of Prankster's Paradise. So, yeah, basically, we're going to go and tackle the wonderful Lord Kairu, who was obviously sitting there waiting for us to take him down, and I just sort of completely blanked on him. Even though I saw him, I decided, you know, I'm not going to fight him. For some ludicrous reason. I don't know. My brain just sort of didn't really function properly, I suppose, when I was recording it, so I just decided, yeah, let's roll away, and then I finished it, and I was just like, oh yeah, oh crud. I mean, the whole thing with Lord Kairu is just a bit weird, because you fight him twice as Riku and once as Sora, and I'm not quite sure where the logic in that is. I mean, I wonder whether it's because Sora's versions of most of the worlds end up being a smidge longer, therefore they think that you're going to have more chance of levelling Sora up, so they want to give Riku a little bit of an oomph at the end, but it doesn't quite make a huge amount of sense. Either way, as you can see, last time we managed to clear off about 3 of his health bars, so we are going to try our damnedest to get rid of even more this time round. Nice bit of Chaos Snake linking, doing a sterling job of whittling away that health bar. Did far better than I think I actually expected it to, but that is absolutely okay. And then because he decided to run off into the distance, it was just like, well, I can now just cause even more chaos to you, and you're just going to take every single last bit of this damage, and it's going to be delightful. So, I mean, as you can see, I've already taken off another 4 of his health bars. So, I mean, obviously, as you progress through the game, it's going to get a lot easier to take down his health bars, and that really is a godsend, but all of these other Kairus can be a little bit of a pain because of that whole lifting you up and all that jazz. But yes, even though I had some good skillage on my side, he still managed to get away, but that's fine, because next time we see him, we will kill him. And now my brain's going, which is the fastest way to get back to a save point? Clearly I thought, let's go the ocean floor route. I don't know why I thought this was faster. And then clearly I regretted it. I think what was going on in my head was, I thought there was a save point right at the start of that, and there's not. I mean, really what I should have done is just kept running, and then that would have meant that I got through that all in the time it's taking me to walk all the way back through. I am seriously questioning some of my gameplay decisions from way back here. But I suppose I'm able to do that when I'm sort of, you know, snogging a Christmas cardie while it's a bit nippy outside, and I'm just waiting for Christmas and then Kingdom Hearts 3, because, I mean, my brain is currently very much in a Kingdom Hearts 3 mood, because obviously they revealed part of the opening movie, and it was delightful. Not sure I'm quite feeling Face My Fears just yet, if only because it doesn't quite match up with the action that occurs on the screen quite so much as previous Kingdom Hearts openings, but I'm sure, you know, once we hit the full track it'll be a little bit more palatable. I mean, it's a good song, but I'm just kind of in that little bit of, oh, I need to get used to this. It's the same sort of thing that I had with Don't Think Twice for a little bit. I'm just going, I need to get used to this song. And while I don't think that, now that we're actually able to hear the entirety of Don't Think Twice, it's not quite as much of an instant classic as, say, Simple and Clean or Sanctuary. It's still an absolute bop and I really love it, and I think it's just the melancholy nature of it. It's really beautiful. But here we are, back again in Traverse Town. Let's see what's changed.
Huh? I'm back in Traverse Town.
Why, hello down there, Sora. I've been waiting.
You do know you can wait on the ground, right? Come down so we can talk.
Now?
Now? What do you mean, now? You're the one who said you were waiting.
You know, you're turning more into Neku every day. But listen, I'm glad you two showed up because...
You two? Does that mean Riku's here?
Yes, but you and he are still a world apart. He didn't seem especially worried, though. He knows he'll find you.
Yeah.
Just look at Neku. He and the others all found their game partners.
Oh, they're back home safe now?
Remember what I told you. Their existence is on the line. And the Reapers are dead set on erasing them for good. But they found refuge in this world. And luckily, each other too.
Reapers?
Right. If Neku and the others want to get back to where they came from, they need to win the Reapers' game. It's like a series of missions. Those are the rules of their home ground. Except, this time, the mission is a tough one. They're pitted against a Dream Eater that can summon 100 more like it. So, I was sort of hoping you and Riku could help us out. You have your Keyblades, and with those, we might still have a chance.
Well, I'm glad he's here with me.
If he is. Riku's on one side of the portal, and you're on the other. He might be by your side, he might be 1,000,000 miles away. You can't measure the distance in time or space. Even without the wall between you, it's hard to say.
Don't worry. He's with me, even when it might seem like he's not.
Then you two are lucky.
You and your friend are lucky too, Joshua.
I appreciate you saying that with conviction, even though you have no idea what you're talking about.
Hey!
Anyway, Neku and his partner are pinned down in the Fountain Plaza. I can count on you, right?
Always.
So yes, we've got our location, head to the Fountain Plaza, but in the meantime, you know, we've got a lot of chests that have been taunting me for a very, very, very long time at the top of my treasure reports, and now is the time to finally go and pick them all up, because we'll be going to, I don't think, areas that we haven't been to yet with Sora, but because, you know, there's a lot more flexibility with where we can go, now is the time to do that exploration and pick everything up. Which makes me really, really, really happy. And what also makes me really happy is I'm pretty sure that the last time we were in Traverse Town, I was saying about how I was in the middle of playing The World Ends With You. And I believe that I did effectively just go, I'm still in the middle of it. I might have finished it whilst I was in Traverse Town still, I don't even know at this point, but yes, following the whole thing, I did actually finish The World Ends With You. Very glad that I did. Didn't end up quite 100%ing it, well, in terms of like getting all of the secret reports as I would have liked, but that's only because I could not be bothered to tackle the extra secret reports in another day, which is exclusive to the final remix version, because they required me to do hard mode of bosses that were just really quite tedious, and I didn't have the, how shall I put it? I didn't have the willpower to go and force myself to fight through those because they were just really infuriating. So in the end, I just thought, you know what, that's fine with me, that's me done. But I did have a really fun time with World Ends With You. It's a very unique game. That said, I do wish that they perhaps hadn't done another day, because you think it's going to answer questions, it doesn't, it just adds more. And also introduces a whole bunch of extra faff that I'm not sure I'm the biggest fan of in terms of playstyle. So, yeah, those extra bits not necessarily entirely worth it. But hey, sometimes these things happen. You go in it hoping for one thing and you get something completely different. I.e., Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie poster, and that absolute abomination that is the silhouette of what is meant to be Sonic the Hedgehog in the film, where you take one look at it and just go, what in the fresh hell am I looking at? It's like someone grabbed a weirdly stunted teenager, shoved him in the worst shoes possible, made him super furry, and then shoved a somewhat realistic hedgehog head on top of him. And yeah, just no. And the fact that Sega aren't even happy with the eyes as they've been done makes me even more concerned, and I'm just looking at it and just going, it's going to be the biggest pile of crap I have ever had the misfortune of laying my eyes on. So, yeah, can't say that I am in particular looking forward to that. I will say I am looking forward to Detective Pikachu though, so that is good. I have got one video game movie that I am excited for that looks like it might not actually screw it up entirely. Speaking of movies, perhaps I have always been quite intrigued by the idea. I don't think it's ever been floated. It might have been, I don't know. But of doing like a Kingdom Hearts anime of some description. I'm pretty sure I do remember there being conversations about it being a thing a very long time ago. So the potential accuracy of those reports are not going to be great. But I do remember them. At least I think I remember them. Once again, sometimes you just make things up in your head and it's never a great idea. But I think that it's a video game series that would actually do very well in that space, because it's already very heavily inspired by anime. And just taking it that step further into sort of what it's been leaning into so much since Kingdom Hearts, well, since Chain of Memories really, but Kingdom Hearts 2 is the one that most people would recognise the major shift towards ridiculous levels of anime-ness. I mean, I suppose it's part of the reason why the manga did so well. Not necessarily in terms of its commercial success, because I don't know what its commercial success was, but in terms of its kind of actual success at taking the source material and succeeding with it in its chosen medium. That's what I'm talking about in terms of it being successful, because the Kingdom Hearts manga is an excellent manga series. I'm still so gutted that it's pretty much stopped before it got into some of the other titles. Like, the fact that we never got a Birth by Sleep manga, the fact that we never got a Dream Drop Distance manga. Because, hilariously, the manga, I'm pretty sure, actually got one fact correct long before this game ever came out. And it's something that people maybe thought about but didn't have any real theories on. But the manga did it. The manga kind of laid it out plain as day. And we were just like, oh, but it's the manga, they're just making it up as they go along. No, they actually knew what they were talking about, and I love that that's a thing. Anywho, I'm currently trying to figure out where... Oh, there's a battle. I'll take a battle portal while I can get one, because while they're not necessarily always going to give me the exact materials that I want, they'll at least do something, and that is alright. Also, can I just say that hiding the Meow Wow God knows where was just really confusing, because I was just like, I don't know where I'm supposed to be looking. Thankfully, I managed to find it by absolute sheer luck and complete the challenge, but it was complete and utter sheer luck. Like 1 second to spare, you can't make it up really, can you? But I will say, while this part and also Ricky's part are probably longer than they really should be, something that you will notice is that actually both of the second trips to Traverse Town are not that long. Effectively, I believe in both instances it is just a case of get to the Fountain Plaza, activate the cutscene, and then peg it to the 3rd district, and that's basically your lot. Which is fine, but there we go.
It's starting to wear me down. Can we get a timeout?
What? Miss me?
Sora?
I'll take it from here.
No. I don't need your help.
Of course you do. Where are your Dream Eaters? How else can you fight?
I don't need them anymore.
Oh, right. Your partner. Well, don't you want to make it out of the game? Who's gonna help her if you get hurt?
Okay, you win. I'll let you do the sweating.
It's totally fair also because, you know, I'm much more adept at these sorts of things than you are, Neku. I mean, Neku can do some pretty cool things with his psychs, like rain down almighty chaos. And it is really quite cool, actually. Like, the way that you use some of the psychs in The World Ends With You, really, really fun. Others less so. There were certain psychs that I definitely ended up using a lot more than others.
Let's go.
And I suppose part of me wishes that... I mean, I did have the desire to experiment. I did experiment because it was just like, well, once I've fully leveled up one badge with the psych, I wanted to go on to the next one and sort of keep going like that. But there were certain types that were a lot easier to pull off than others. And I tended to go with those that were a lot easier to pull off, because it just made sense, I suppose. And I really, 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 really do not like these fishbone A's, as I believe they are called. It's just their whole flopping about and me not being able to hit them, because I'm just like, you're literally just there, you're not doing anything. I could just murder you right now. Because you're not attacking me, you're not doing anything of note, you're just getting in the way. But thankfully they're all dead now, and we can see how Neku and Shiki are getting on. Yay!
He got away.
Sora.
So you must be Neku's partner.
Yeah, I'm Shiki. Nice to meet you. Neku told me all about you.
Cool. But you should have seen him. He looked everywhere for you.
Hey, Sora, stop talking.
What? Why? You said you need her. That's a good thing.
That's sweet, Neku.
I need you to stop annoying me.
Well, I still think it's sweet. It's nice to be needed.
I'm sorry, is this a bad time? Because that Dream Eater we're after has retreated to the other imagining of this world.
Other imagining? You mean where Riku is?
Yes. He and our other friends will do what they can, but we'll just run ourselves in circles at this rate. We need to trap that thing in one place, and then we can finish it.
Trap it where?
The 3rd district.
Okay.
Joshua,
Yes, Neku?
tell me, are we really gonna make it home?
But Neku, I thought you couldn't afford to lose. Give up on yourself, and you give up on the world.
Right. So I'll see you there?
Huh? Me?
Yeah. You're my friend. It's your home, too.
Maybe it's you that's turning into Sora.
Huh?
Thanks.
Aww, how sweet was that? It's just so adorable and I love it. But we do still have 3 chests that are sitting about waiting to be collected. I believe I may know where 2 of them are located. So I think one of them is in the 1st district, and it's on, I think it's on top of the roof of the market stall where you first meet Sid in the original Kingdom Hearts, where the chest is. And you can get on top of that. I don't think I investigated that, like all the other bits of 1st district I investigated. That was one of the bits that I did not. It's ridiculous. I believe that the other one is located in the 3rd district, which is going to be delightful considering that's where our boss fight is. And that's sort of in a hidden level. Funnily enough, actually, I think it's where Donald and Goofy can be seen when you just before you fight guard armor in the original Kingdom Hearts, because it's just sort of the little ledge bit that they fall off of. I'm pretty sure that's where the other chest is. If not, there's definitely a chest there that at some point, maybe with Riku, I didn't collect, and I have to go back and get it, because I have that in my head as a thing that occurred that I had to deal with and felt slightly daft having screwed up, but then also deciding, you know what, I can live. I'm going to pick them all up anyway, so it's not the biggest worry in the end. And yeah, I mean, thankfully we can do a little bit more with Joanne than we've been able to previously. But I do feel that we're probably going to end up giving up on her in a little bit to replace her with Dream Eater that's going to be providing us with some more abilities that we would like. I mean, pretty much, I think as soon as we are... Maybe not quite as soon as we're done with the next world. But well, I know for a fact that we get a recipe in the next world, which we are going to be making great use of. Even if it's not the recipe that ends up being used, if that makes any sense. It probably doesn't, actually. But what I mean is that we'll be making the Dream Eater from that recipe, whether we use the recipe to do it or not. That makes a bit more sense. Also, can I just say, while this Keyblade is not the best thing in the world, I do quite like its design. I think it was mostly just sort of the watery bit that's on it. I don't know, it's like on the hand guard bit that I just like, yes, I love it. Or what have you. And, oh! There's the chest I missed. Reason I can tell you I probably missed this one is because... So the whole shebang when I was first in the post office, which I probably did tell you about, is that I may or may not have died against the Kuma Panda special battle portal. And it was very infuriating because I'd been around the entire room before I actually got that. And then I died, and obviously that resets all your progress with all of your chests. So I was just like, so what chests have I picked up? What chests haven't I picked up? Unfortunately, that ended up meaning then that that chest just got completely missed because I couldn't remember what ones I had and hadn't done. So, yeah, that basically leaves us with 2 chests remaining for Sora. And then I will finally not feel absolutely awful. Because it's the whole thing that occurs whenever, like, or at least did occur when I was doing all of this recording, is for that first batch of worlds I was just like, I just want those chests. Not having a complete total is driving me balmy. It's that whole sort of completionist in me that just sort of every now and again rears its slightly crazy head and decides that it knows what's best for me and makes me do things that are maybe not the smartest thing in the world. For example, trying to beat all of the classic modes in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate before tackling the World of Light. That does in part make sense because unlocking characters works differently in both modes. So we need to unlock them all for general smashing anyway. But it also is just like, at present, when I'm recording this commentary, I've done 50 of the 74 classic modes, and I am beginning to feel a little bit burned out. It's entirely my own fault. I really should have chosen to break it up a little bit more. It's something that really I probably need to learn how to get better at myself whenever I'm playing games, is that sometimes I end up honing in on doing a specific task to the detriment of me enjoying all of the game, I suppose. Or like what it ends up doing is just making me really, really frustrated and bored, to the point where I'm just like, oh, I've kind of lost interest. It's basically what happened to me when I played Final Fantasy X. I've still not finished Final Fantasy X at this point. It's really bad. But what it was because, initially anyway, I had gotten to the Spectral Keeper. You'd think I would have gotten past that fight and continued, but that's not the point. So I got a bit stuck on Spectral Keeper and just thought, well, if I level up stuff in the Sphere Grid, I'll be fine. And whilst I'm at that, I should probably try and get Holy for Yuna, because I know that that's going to be very, very useful as a move for the boss fight that comes after Spectral Keeper. Unfortunately, because of the direction that I'd gone round the Sphere Grid, and because of what I decided to do with the Sphere Grid, I am quite a way away from unlocking the delight that is Holy on the Sphere Grid. So, what ended up happening was I just put it down and didn't go back to it for a very long time. Eventually I did manage to get past Spectral Keeper and got to the boss fight afterwards, which to be honest, I should just say the name of, because it's not like it's a huge spoiler anymore, but I'm not going to anyway, because I know, I don't know, I don't like spoiling other games in games that I'm doing. It's not that I'm ever going to cover Final Fantasy X, because I don't have the strength in me to